Okay, I assume Richard just told you the rules since you just got here. But you get a 2-minute introduction. And we're going in order on the ballot. So Millie Thompson, you are first.
Hi. Can you see me now? All right. My name is Millie Thompson. I'm running for Hays County Court Law number 3. This is a new court that was created in 2018. And currently, there is an incumbent who was appointed by the Commissioner's Court for that court. Mr. Fusco and I will have that Republican challenger, whichever wins in the general. Now, for those of you who do not know much about the court system and don't live in the courts like he and I do, I'll explain a little bit about it. There are Class C cases and small amounts of money cases that are filed in the lowest level courts, JP and municipal courts, right? So when you're talking about getting a speeding ticket, your speeding ticket's gonna lie in a municipal court or JP court. Then you have county courts at law. In Hays County, the county courts at law handle cases ranging from probate cases, like when you have a loved one who has died, guardianship cases, as well as civil cases where the amount that people are fighting over ranges from $500 up to $200,000. And then misdemeanor cases like DWIs and possession of small amounts of marijuana, okay? So that's county court at law. And then you have district court, where you have cases like murder, robbery, and then when folks are fighting over large sums of money in civil cases. So those are the court levels. And we're running for the middle one. We're running for Hays County Court at Law number 3. A little bit about me. I grew up in green pastures in Kyle in a mobile home. After it was repossessed, we moved around a bit. My educational background, I graduated from Reagan High School and in Austin, and then I went to Texas A&M University and then grad school at the University of Houston, and then I got my law degree. I've been practicing law for the last 10 years, and I have my own law practice. I have been handling cases, all of the types of cases that are filed in Hays County Court Law number 3, and I'm asking for your vote.
Thank you. Tony?
First, I'd like to thank KBAD. There we go, it's working. I'd like to thank KBAD for having us here and giving us the opportunity to speak to everyone today. My name's Tony Fusco. I am a San Marcos criminal defense attorney, and I am running for judge at Hays County Court at Law number 3. I received my undergraduate degree from the University of Texas at Austin, and I got my law degree from the University of Texas School of Law. I am the first person in my family to graduate from college. I was raised by a single mother. I have lived here since 1992 in Hays County. I've worked my entire career within the confines of Hays County, representing Hays County citizens. I've worked on, my background is primarily in criminal and appellate law, but I do have experience in many other areas as well. I've worked on everything from misdemeanors to capital appeals. I discovered early on as a young man that the criminal justice system treated the poor and persons of color differently than it did their white, more affluent counterparts. That is the reason I became an attorney and the reason that I wound up being a criminal defense attorney specifically. And so my platform consists of the full implementation of the cite and release program and the creation of a specialty drug court. I believe that those will address two of the most pressing issues facing the Hays County court system right now, the Hays County system generally, being jail overcrowding and the docket backlog, as well as the creation of the drug court. That and the cite and release working together will give many individuals the opportunity to avoid convictions and arrests for relatively minor offenses and the long-term consequences that stem from that. That being said, running Tony for Hays County Court at Law, Judge number 3, and I appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
It is estimated that almost 25% of the Texas inmate population has mental health issues. What background do you have in handling these types of cases? Millie, go first.
So for the last 10 years, I've handled a wide variety of criminal cases where my clients had mental health diagnoses, ranging from juveniles who had been diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder to adults charged with serious offenses who had been diagnosed with a variety of serious mental health issues. I have gone through the process of having clients challenged for competency. I have even gone to a jury trial on the issue of competency, where essentially what you're doing with competency is there's an argument that the person does not understand the nature of the case or doesn't understand the nature of the judicial system such that they cannot stand trial. I have extensive experience defending folks with mental health issues, both defending the cases that they're charged with, as well as dealing with the underlying mental health diagnoses.
Thank you. Tony?
Yes, as everyone is aware, mental health is one of the most pressing issues facing our society right now, specifically within the context of the criminal justice system. My experience in that, I have been fortunate enough to be able to practice with a firm my entire career that we pushed that from the very beginning. I've worked with doctors, psychologists, and psychiatrists extensively that we use on a retained basis, a pro bono basis, and that we have their compensation provided by applying to the court for funds. Right now, I have no fewer than probably 6 or 8 clients right now that are currently under evaluation and that we're working in conjunction with the legal team and the doctors. This is something that we've just always done, and it's always been there. And like I said, I've worked with a lot of good mental health professionals in the process that helped a lot of our clients. And I would continue to do so. But yes, my experience in that area is extensive.
Thank you. Okay, you get the next question as well. How can the County Court at Law Number 3 help ease the jail overcrowding situation in Hays County? It's Tony.
As far as the overcrowding system, the overcrowding jail, the site release is the big thing, okay? There are other things. There are specialty courts to funnel off some of most of the arrests and most of the charges involve drugs. And so that not only would that work more towards the goal of rehabilitation and giving the individuals the opportunity to not have a record that follows them their entire life while getting them the help they need at the same time, it also would serve the goal of diverting those cases to a separate court within the system that would help with the backlog. But those two working together would have a tremendous effect on the jail population overcrowding and the backlog on the docket. So those are very important.
Thank you. Millie, same question.
So here's what happens when you're arrested. You're arrested day 1, and then you're magistrated, where you're told that you have the right to remain silent, the right to an attorney, what you're charged with. And that magistrate, then sets your bond amount. For misdemeanor cases, like in the County Court at Law, that bond amount may be anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000, just depending on the seriousness of the charge and depending on the person. The amount is supposed to be calculated to make sure that that person comes to court and faces the charges. In our constitutional republic, you are presumed innocent when you're charged with a crime, right? And so presumption of innocence, but the person's got to come to court and face the charges. In order for us to eliminate any problem with backlog that is coming from the misdemeanor courts, what I would do is review the bond as soon as possible after that person's been arrested. Make sure the bond was not set too high and that it is not set an amount that essentially is oppressing the person because they don't have the money to get out of jail.
Thank you so much, Millie. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate you coming. Thank you. Next up, we have Hays County Sheriff candidate.